Aafia Siddiqui's narrative is a complex tapestry of brilliance, controversy, and tragedy that has captured international attention, sparking debates on justice, terrorism, and human rights. Born in Karachi, Pakistan, Aafia Siddiqui was destined for academic stardom. She excelled at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, where she earned a BS in biology and later at Brandeis University, securing a Ph.D. in Neuroscience. Her academic achievements promised a luminous career, but her life took an unexpected turn after the events of September 11, 2001. The American perspective. Post 9/11, Aafia Siddiqui became a figure of suspicion in the United States. In 2003, her name surfaced in connection with terrorism when Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, an Al-Qaeda operative, during his interrogation named her as a courier and financer for the group. This led to her and her ex-husband being placed on the FBI's list, marking her as a person of interest in their fight against terrorism. Years later, in July 2008, Aafia was arrested in Ghazni, Afghanistan, under dramatic circumstances. According to U.S. reports, she was found with documents discussing weapons construction and mass casualty attacks, including notes on New York landmarks. The pivotal incident that sealed her fate occurred when, during an interrogation by U.S. military and FBI personnel, she allegedly grabbed an unattended M4 rifle and attempted to shoot the officers. This led to her being shot and subsequently charged with attempted murder, assault, and other related charges. Her trial in Manhattan in 2010 was a focal point of contention. The U.S. legal system convicted her, viewing her as a direct threat due to her alleged affiliations and actions. She was sentenced to 86 years in prison, a decision that many in the American justice system saw as appropriate given the severity of the charges against her. Sister Aafia's perspective. The undeniable truth of Aafia Siddiqui's ordeal is a stark contrast to the false narrative spun by the United States. In 2003, Aafia was not merely missing. She was abducted from Karachi alongside her 3 children, Ahmed, Maryam, and Suleiman. This was not an escape. It was a calculated seizure. The U.S. then held her in secret prisons, including the infamous Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, where she endured years of torture and inhumane treatment. These missing years were deliberately kept out of the courtroom, a clear attempt by the U.S. to hide the reality of her physical and psychological torment, which would have been crucial in understanding her state of mind and health at the time of her arrest. The Ghazni incident, portrayed by the U.S. as an attack by Aafia on American soldiers, is nothing short of a fabrication. The idea that this woman, after years of being subjected to relentless abuse, could suddenly become an aggressive assailant against trained military personnel is not just improbable. It's a narrative designed to vilify rather than illuminate the truth. She was frail, disoriented, and in a survival mode, not a calculated aggressor. Her actions, if any, were those of a person desperately trying to fend off what she perceived as yet another threat, not a premeditated attack. It's telling that the U.S. never charged Aafia with terrorism directly. This omission speaks volumes about the lack of evidence linking her to terrorist activities. Instead, her conviction was solely based on this one incident, which her defense argued was a reaction born out of years of trauma, not criminal intent. The trial was a miscarriage of justice, focusing on a moment in time while ignoring the extensive documented history of her suffering. Aafia Siddiqui now resides in the Federal Medical Center, Carswell, Texas, serving her long sentence. Her health has deteriorated, and there have been numerous allegations of further abuses and neglect in prison. Her sister, Dr. Fawzia Siddiqui, has become a vocal advocate for her, pressing for her sister Aafia's release and repatriation to Pakistan. The case has stirred significant public sentiment in the Muslim world, where Aafia is correctly portrayed as a victim of the U.S. war on terror, leading to protests, diplomatic efforts, and even demands for her release in hostage situations. You believe in her innocence? Share this video. Support the movement for her release. Demand transparency. Demand justice. Comment below. Let's keep this conversation alive.